Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about RVs. Should you buy new or should you buy used? The correct answer to that is that there isn't a correct answer, first and foremost. It all depends on what you're looking for, but we're just going to go over kind of the pros and cons to each and what to look out for when buying new, what to look out for when buying used, and the benefits to either or. We're going to start with new. So, as far as a new RV, obviously, the obvious thing being that you get a brand new RV. You get brand new appliances, you get a brand new structured RV that's never been lived in. And the idea of this is that there aren't going to be any problems that you run into, but this is a big mistake when people think about buying new, because it happens very often that even when you purchase a brand new RV, RVs aren't like cars. There's they're all different. A lot of stuff goes into them. They could have a different person working on a different part of whatever RV they're working on at the factory. Basically meaning that when RVs come off the factory line, I can promise you more often than not that they are not always perfect, and they have a lot of recalls, and they can have issues just like a used RV can. But the benefit, or the kind of thing to make an argument to that, is that you should have a factory warranty, usually at least 1 year, some offer 2 years or even 3 years, that will cover those issues, so that you should be financially covered when you do run into those issues. Some of them are recalls, some of them are actual issues, but the idea is that when you buy from a new RV from the factory, that you are getting a warranty that is going to protect you from those issues. Okay, so obviously buying new, you get new, and you have all those new items like we talked about, but the biggest thing is that you're taking the financial hit when you purchase new. You really are. Now, with that being said, you at least get to pick out exactly what you want. You don't get to pick out exactly what you want in a new RV, or in a used RV, excuse me. But in a new RV, you can pick out pretty much the exact floor plan, exactly what you want, so that you know what you're getting is, when you're paying for it, is exactly what you're looking for, and something that will work for you, the different floor plans, and all the different things that you can choose from. When you're buying new, you will have more options. But granted, with that being said, the first 3 years of owning an RV are going to be depreciated by 50%. And that's speaking in general on average of most RVs, that in the first 3 years of ownership, you're going to lose about 50% of the equity of that RV in the first 3 years. So that's something to, the biggest hit on buying something new, that you are taking the biggest financial hit, because RVs are not investments. They're purchased for fun and for camping and for exploring and traveling, but they are not purchased for financial investments. Especially new RVs definitely depreciate, and they depreciate on average by 50% in the first 3 years. So a good thing about purchasing new, you shouldn't have as much trouble, although it may be more expensive. You shouldn't have as much trouble financing, because a bank feels a little bit more protected when they know that they are financing something new with less issues, with a warranty, and all that good stuff. And sometimes you can get a longer term than you would on something that is used by a longer term. Also, with that, going to use real quickly, if you're buying something that's within 15 years, you shouldn't have any trouble getting financing. But a lot of banks won't finance an RV that's more than 15 years old. So with that being said, you can always finance something new as long as you can get qualified to do so. But on something that's used, you can sometimes run into a hiccup if you're looking at something that is more than 15 years old and it might be a little bit more of a struggle to get financing on something that is more than 15 years old, although some banks will finance that. So as far as used, moving on to used, is the most important part of purchasing a used RV is how it's been cared for. So you are not taking the upfront hit if you don't purchase it within the first 3 years of it being new, as far as that 50%. And even just every year, from the first year it's new, all going back, you depreciate more by every year. So like the first year, you're going to lose more equity. The second year, less than that. Third, less than that. So 3 years is, I would say, the deadline for really looking at used RVs, to where you're not going to take that bigger financial hit. Sorry, dropping my camera here. I'm not the best camera guy. Sorry about that. Okay, the next thing is that, again, going back to the error of thinking that when you get new, you don't have issues, but you do have a warranty. Now, with something that's used, if it's been cared for, ideally, the owners of the used RV have done everything that needs to be done with the RV, and that you're not going to run into all those issues because they've already been worked out. They've already gone through and done the recalls, done the warranty work that needed to be fixed on the RV, if there was any. And if you are buying used, you should probably ask for records of that, if there is any, so that you know that when you are purchasing used, that you don't run into all the new issues when it was new that haven't yet been taken care of. So that's definitely an important one. Now, as far as buying used, I would just be cautious of two things, like tires and windshield and everything on the RV that when you're getting new, you at least know with a new RV, you're getting new tires, you're getting a new windshield. It's all of the fluids and all of that have been changed. So when you are purchasing used, you need to look out for those items and see, even if you're getting a good price on something, that you're going to have to account for if the tires are going to need to be changed in a year, so on and so forth, versus something new. Tires are brand new, so you're going to have 5 years of life left in those tires. So these are all pros and cons to both. Obviously, it's all up to you what really works for you. Just know that an RV is not an investment. Buying new, you will take more of a financial hit than if you would buying used. However, the main benefits are that you get an RV of your choice, an RV that you really liked, and you picked out the floor plan and everything that worked for you. And that buying used, you have not as much of a selection as you would if you were purchasing new, and you have to make sure that whoever the owners were of the used RV that you're purchasing, even if it's from a dealer, have taken good care of the RV, and know that there could be not just mechanical things that you need to look at, or just things of that nature, but just stuff like your tires and your windshield and all of those, because when it's used, well, all those items are going to be used as well. Alright guys, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, and as always, thanks for watching.